You've been paying attention to the trial so far. Let's just ask her and be done with it, shall we? Who are you? Who is the forger, Drew Misham? Was that an expression of emotion I saw on her face? She's staring holes into Prosecutor Gavin's face. I'm used to being stared at by Frauleins, believe me. Though they usually talk to me too. Tell us, were you the one who forged those works of art? Yes. So the forger Drew Misham was you? Yes, it was me. What? Nani? The court was in an uproar and wasn't coming down. We had to break for a 10-minute recess. To be continued. Oh, I should have split the VOD here. You know what? I do have that power. Haha! Alright. It has been 3.5 hours. Almost. In-game time. Okay. So, where exactly does this leave us, Apollo? Well, the Drew Misham who was killed wasn't Drew Misham the forger, basically. Huh? Well, then, who was he? Well, he was actually doing her nails. So, you really made those forgeries? You don't need to draw a smiley face every time you say yes. Yes. Or father. I know, it was wrong. Could you tell us how it happened? My father was a painter. I loved paintings ever since I was a child. One day, father saw it in me. He saw that I had the talent. Talent? For making forgeries? How should I say it? It was not only paintings I made. Given the materials, I could make anything. Anything? Father was so proud, and I was so happy. But in the end, I was making those forgeries. I've never had a good constitution, nor personality. I know very little of the world outside my door. Now, because of me, Father is... Do you know about this red envelope? I remember that envelope. It was some time ago. So you were already, 19. She was forging evidence at age 12. You were already creating your works back then? Started when I was only 12 years old. So the one who figured out the stamp was poison, that was... Mr. Justice, it's time. To the courtroom, please. Right. Out of time. Wait, Vera, just one more thing, please. Those 3 paintings in the studio. I painted those as part of my work. Right. See, we checked them out and we saw what was underneath. We saw the rough sketches underneath the 3 finished paintings. I see. Mr. Justice. Yes? Father, he knew of you. Both of you. Your late father? He was watching, gathering information. All about the Wright & Co. law offices. But lately, we're not doing just law. Yes, you do tricks, gags to amuse, and play piano. Poorly. Well, they're not really gags. Yet when Father heard you had resumed the legal business, how pleased he was. Who was Mr. Misham? How am I supposed to know? What if he was Daddy's daddy? Judging from the relative ages involved, I'd say it's highly unlikely. Things are already confusing enough with all these daddies running around. We know that the victim's daughter, Vera, was the forger. What does this mean for our case? Guess we're about to find out. She is so pink. And so many stripes. Vera seems pretty tense. She's practically chewing on her fingernails. She's practically chewing her fingernails clean off. Perhaps you could begin by telling us how it all worked. How did you set up this Drew Misham forger persona? There's that stare again. She's drilling more holes into his head. I know it's hard for you, but hey, he's a handsome guy. What's hard? Very well, miss, if you would. Did you really make those detestable forgeries? Wow. Don't be so mean. Perhaps you'd rather answer my question. Were you the one who painted that painting? The remarkably similar one? Yes. I painted it, yes. Father praised me quite highly for it. So, she was the one who made the forgeries. Yet she did not wish to reveal the truth of her operation. So the victim was a stand-in, a decoy. To the world at large, he was the forger, not her. I've done a bad thing. I have, haven't I? Regardless, we need a little more information. About, for instance, this. You have seen this before, yeah? Yes. It was at the desk drawer. In the desk drawer. Very well. You may proceed with your testimony. Tell us everything you know about this envelope. I created things, and Father sold them. This envelope came after my first work. That was other than a painting. Father handled the deal, all of it. I received the stamp that it was in that envelope. It was after that job that we moved to the current studio. Okay. Tell us why you didn't use that stamp. There certainly was much of great interest in your testimony. Not only that, not that the witness realizes it. Very well, please begin the cross-examination. Right. Okay. I need more information about this forger. This Drew Misham. So you were a team. So these things you were making, you mean paintings identical to other paintings, right? The closer they were, the happier Father was. I was happy too. Still, you're quite young now. When did you begin this work? My first painting sold when I was 12. Your Honor, she had no idea what she was doing was illegal. Okay, yeah. Easy there, little attorney. You're not here to defend her for the crime of forgery. True. Please, tell us more about this envelope. This envelope that may very well have killed your father. By other than a painting, you mean you'd only done paintings up to that point? Yes. But Father had a realization. He noticed my talent extended to making things other than paintings. For instance? For instance, a letter someone had written. Or a fingerprint left upon a cup. Or a signature on a document. A sealed upon letter. None of this makes her sound very innocent at all. And the $100,000 promised in this letter was the start. The beginning of a new industry for Drew Misham. A new industry? The creation of items to be used in criminal proceedings. Forging evidence, in other words. Uh-oh. So, you didn't know how the things you were making were being used. I enjoy painting very much. I think I understand. The Fraulein has lived in an unusual little world. Can you tell us what happened to the papers that were in this envelope? Father signed them and sent them back, I believe. Did he follow the instructions? Send the enclosed envelope with the enclosed stamp? This is a rather important matter. Give your answer some thought. What do you mean you received it? Did I do something wrong? You didn't use that stamp because it was dangerous, correct? Deadly poison, on the back. At your quinine. A moment, Airforehead. You can't force an answer upon the witness. Now then, perhaps you would tell me, Fraulein Vera, why did you receive this stamp? Staring at that hottie's face. Is something wrong? It was beautiful. Ah, you mean it was one of those commemorative stamps? Yes, I think it was. Yes, I think it was. So, you didn't know about the poison? I guess not. So the trap failed by chance. By mistake. Thanks to this commemorative stamp. Quite the close call. It was after that job that we moved to the current studio. You mean you moved to where the current Drew studio is? Yes. We saw very few people there. I began drawing picture books. This single job had tied them up to the criminal underworld. To think Mr. Mission wished to reduce their visibility in the world at large. Yeah. What a bumble that I did. I think Mr. Michelin. Oh my god, I'm mixing in trails now. I've been trying my best to dodge it and succeeding so far, but now it's just make a wishy with Mishy. I think Mr. Misham wished to reduce their visibility in the world at large. There we go. That's English. When we had to meet someone for some reason, Father posed as the creator of the work. So that was the real essence of the artist, Drew Misham. You did the work, and he supplied the face. So, you really didn't know anything, did you? You had no idea how much danger you were in. Still don't know what that picture is. Apparently not. About this commemorative stamp, could you tell us more about it? It was very pretty, and more than that. Yes? It was a picture of people I liked at the time. This is something new. Apparently, we've got some cross-examination yet ahead of us. If you would be so kind as to continue your testimony, Fraulein. Who did you like at the time? Stamp was a picture of my favorite magicians! Your favorite magicians! Magicians? I love mysterious things. I always have. Even though she fainted when she saw Mr. Hat. You're confusing mysterious with freaky. Father took me when I was very young. It was a great magic show. I loved it so much. See? See? Isn't magic great? Fine, great, yeah, sure. No need to get all excited. But the magic troupe we saw disbanded soon after. It was quite sad. Did you just say what I think she just said? Magic troupe? Where have I heard that before? Red envelope came after she completed her first job. That makes a letter from her client, whoever wanted a forgery made. Apollo! We're close. We just have to piece together the parts. A deadly weapon in a red envelope. And the path it took to take Drew Misham's life. I almost said Mishima that time. Oh no.
Objection!
You mean these magicians? Those magicians you like. Was it this bunch? Apollo, they're not a bunch. I see. Still, I have to wonder, why include a commemorative stamp like that on a business letter? Good question. Well, pretty stamps are always better, and you can't beat true gramarye. But the whole murder plan was a failure because of it. Ironic, don't you think? Prosecutor Gavin? Prosecutor Gavin? Gramarye. What's with Gavin? Might I ask just one question of this witness? In your testimony just now, you stated this was your first work that was other than painting? Please, tell me, what exactly did you make? Can I ask why? No! Answer the question! Now! Prosecutor Gavin? You're usually not the one whose volumes concerns me. Yes, it is unbecoming of me, I apologize. But I must know. Please, Miss Misham, tell me. It was a book. Single page in a book. Book? Please, be more specific. It was a handwritten book. Like a diary. No! I don't! No! What's wrong with Prosecutor Gavin? He looks like he just saw a ghost. Miss Misham, this book. Was there a picture of a silk hat on the back cover? Yes or no? How did you know?
Objection!
Prosecutor Gavin, the defendant is answering all of your questions. Stop badgering her. He's told you nothing, has he? Your soiled, sullied mentor. Nothing! Sullied? Who? Phoenix Wright. Who else? Daddy? He never told you about the trial 7 years ago? About how he came to lose his attorney's badge? There was a certain piece of evidence that decided his fate, you know. A certain diary. On the back it bore the mark of a silk hat. Phoenix Wright. Tossed out of the profession by false evidence. And the forger who made that evidence. Is this girl standing right in front of me? Vera! You must tell us! The evidence that you made... The evidence you made was used in a trial 7 years ago. Who asked Drew Misham, you, to forge that evidence? For all our sakes, who was it? We only met once. You met the client? Well, who was it? It was... What's going on with Vera? She's staring at Prosecutor Gavin's face again. Yes? What? Is there something about me? I remember clearly. I remember who gave me the book, the diary. Who was it? choke. Vera! Defendant Vera Misham. Condition: unconscious. Examiner's diagnosis: acute atroquinine poisoning. This ends the recording of the trial of the murder of Drew Misham. Vera Misham was, during the trial, poisoned by an unknown assailant. Dosage was just under the lethal amount, sparing the defendant's life. He is currently in intensive care and is not to be disturbed for any reason. Very simple case at first glance, until it finally began to show its true colors. Damn it, Phoenix! You said it was easy! The long road to the truth takes us to the record of another trial. In some ways, that was the starting point of it all. Young Gavin! Oh no, he's hot! And this is where we must go. Look at that baby! To find the whole truth. To be continued. I can't believe 7 years ago was so old-timey that everything was in sepia. Whew, okay. It's been a long time since I felt like such a rookie. Got to try and relax. Good morning, Mr. Edgamar. I'm sorry to have sprung this on you so suddenly. I received the files from your previous attorney only yesterday. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure I'm prepared. I understand I'm asking the impossible of you. Yes, well, you haven't really told me what happened yet. All we did was play cards. And that was enough. Actually, it wasn't. Just me. She's adorable! Ooh, morning, Daddy! I'm so glad you came. You okay, Daddy? They picking on you? I am fine as always. This old boy is here to help me after all. That's young man to you. Good morning. That's a cute outfit you have on. Thanks! My first show's today after all. I'm sure it is. What the heck is she talking about? Oh, old boy. Huh? Me? Oh, look what he started. Here. What's this? It seems fate's clock will make me wait a little longer. At least, only less than 10 swift minutes remain. To all those who have supported me in my life's work, I give thanks. Farewell, Magnifique Ramrai. I don't know, I just got it over there in the hall. They told me to give it to the old boy in blue suit with spiky hair. They said it was really important. What's this? A memo for you or some such? Not from the looks of it. What is this? Looks like a page from someone's diary. I'm gonna read later. Well, how do you feel about the trial today? We'll get through it. Somehow. Incidentally, the prosecutor today is a new guy here. An easy win then, yes? They're calling him a true thoroughbred in history of... They're calling him a true thoroughbred in the history of the prosecutor's office. Of course, there's one of those every year. The switching of attorneys just before the trial. Just before the trial. I know it is a difficult situation I put you in. But, allow me to say one thing, Mr. Wright. Yes? They will not be able to pronounce me guilty today. So, do your best, but do not worry. First time a defendant's ever given me a pep speech. I'll do what I can. I see you do not understand. You see, it will be impossible for them to declare a verdict. Impossible? Yes, isn't that right, Trucy?
Yep, you bet, Daddy.
My first look at the case was only yesterday, and the information I was given was a tad bit lacking, to be honest. Still, I'll do what I can. For their sake. I believe the curtains will be lifting any time now. I am in your capable hands, Mr. Wright. My client is Shady Eddingmar, known to the world as Zack Gramarye, a wildly popular magician, star of the troupe Gramarye. His mentor, Magnifie Gramarye, was a rare breed of a magician. He single-handedly ushered in the golden age of stage magic, until he was shot dead. And Zack Gramarye is the suspect. Court is now in session for the trial of Shady Eddingmar. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Is the prosecution ready? I was just thinking, is this what all the fuss is about? Bit of a buzzkill, really. Buzzkill? Is this some new kind of crime? One of the worst. This is a trial, yeah? Where are the sweaty palms, the pounding hearts? A Gaviner's concert got 10 times the thrill that this gig's got. A Gaviner's concert got 10 times the thrill this gig's got. Yeah, there we go. Who are you again? Clavier Gavin. I came to get the party started. Legally, yeah? Gavin. Defense attorney Christoph Gavin's... Figure my bro's more famous in this part of town. Clavier Gavin. Lead singer for the mega hit band, the Gaviners. You're out of your league, Ronk Boy. I know what you're thinking. You're out of your league, Ronk Boy. True, my debut single, 13 Years Hard Time for Love, went platinum overnight. But that's just a hobby to me compared to this, yeah? Talkative, aren't you? I like your affected Euro rock accent, by the way. I'm just getting warmed up. Herr Attorney Wright. Perhaps you would be so kind as to fill us in on the case. Maybe. Time to call on the opening act. What was his name again? Yes. Detective Gumshoe. Hit it! Something smells like it's burning. I don't like that. You know what? I'm gonna take a pause right here just in case. Alright, it was just somebody had their fire pit roaring in the backyard, and some of the smoke was starting to make it to my room. Oh, there goes my mouse. Alright, did I mark it? I think I marked it. Let's go. And you are? Hey, you were the one who called me up here, sir. Name's Dick Gumshoe. I'm a homicide detective down at the precinct. Detective Gumshoe. Long time no see. Hey, you! Me? Today's the day, pal. Today, I win and you lose. I got confidence in my testimony today, see? You normally lack confidence in your testimony? Detective, this is my stage. Cut the antics. Huh? All this hey-youing and such. And I could care less about your history together. Very well, Detective Gumshoe, if you would. Please, tell us about the case at hand. It happened 6 days back, in a room at the General Hospital. The facts are as simple as they come. Here's the crime scene. The victim was a patient, asleep in a hospital bed. The killer comes in and puts a pistol to his forehead, and bam! Lights out. Them's the facts. Not so long ago, the victim, Magnifi Gramarye, was a famous man. He had the entire country under his magical spell, as it were. Ah, yes, the great magician. He retired years ago, though. Say the name Magnifi to one of my generation, and you'd be lucky to get a blank stare. Yes, though I'm sure the youngsters today know his disciples even better. I dare say Troop Gramarye has made quite a name for themselves. Anyhow, the retired Magnifi has been in the hospital for the last year. What was it? A malignant tumor? A malignant tutor or something? Doing something to his liver, I think. Yeah. Malignant tumor, perhaps? In other words, he had liver cancer. He had only 3 months left to live, in fact. 3 months. The facts do seem simple enough, but something's not right. The victim was already climbing a 3-month stairway to heaven. Why not wait for him to knock, knock, knock on heaven's door? Why shoot him? I wouldn't have put it quite that way. I would have put it quite so lyrically, but it is true. Why make the effort to commit murder when the victim was about to die? Incidentally, the victim had a serious case of diabetes. Diabetes? In fact, he was about to shoot up with insulin when he was shot with a pistol. The syringe was found at the crime scene. Chronic diabetes and cancer. As much as it pains me to say it, the victim was clearly at the end of his life. I believe the question before us is clear then. Why did the killer have to shoot this dying man? What reason could he have had? Very well, Detective. Perhaps you can enlighten us as to the circumstances of the shooting. Yes, sir! Witness testimony. The circumstances. Actually, the victim kind of ordered the defendant to do it. The victim kind of ordered the defendant to do him in. A few days before it happened, the victim sent a letter ordering his own murder. The defendant did what was asked of him and shot the old man in the forehead. The bullet was fired from the pistol found at the scene, no doubt about it. And the pistol definitely belonged to the old man, sir. What? You're saying the victim ordered his own shooting? Those are the facts. I have here the letter in question. To my beloved student Zach, to you I entrust the task of lowering my life's curtain. Excuse me, I was reading that. Come on the 13th, 11:05 p.m. I will ready a gun with which you will shoot one shot square in the forehead. You cannot refuse, and we both know the reason why. Magnifi Gramarye. Although, could such a thing as a letter really cause one to pull a trigger, I wonder? I believe the answer to that question can be found at the end of the letter. You cannot refuse, and we both know the reason why. Detective Gumshoe, can you explain this to the court? Unfortunately, even the defendant wouldn't say a peep about that bit, sir. One thing bothers me about this. Why didn't he just say 11? Why have it come at 11:05 without some specific reason? The devil is in the details there, attorney. Well, was there some reason? As it turns out, there was. Every night, for a half hour, starting at 11, the victim, Magnifi Gramarye, was given an IV. An IV? There it is in the picture, off to the side of the bed. At 11, a doctor would come to set up the IV. 30 minutes later, he would come back for the empty bag. This happened every night, without fail. So that was the only time they could meet without the chance of an untimely interruption. During his IV. Very well. Shall we begin? Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, if you would. Oh my god. People came home, and then dogs went nuts! What's this reason he couldn't refuse, I wonder? Could have at least mentioned it to me. Sorry, I'm trying to pause to avoid dog yapping getting into the mic. Actually, I already read all this. Just because he got the letter doesn't mean he went through with it. Oh, I disagree. The victim was indeed shot in the forehead after all, just as he had commanded. Could be a setup? Well, let's not be in such a hurry. Maybe we should let the witness talk for a change. Thanks, pal. Fine. I can play it slow as well as I can play it fast. On with the testimony, Detective Gumshoe. And this letter was sent by the victim? There it is! Gotcha! You're all mine this time, pal. Eh? I had their handwriting checked out, of course. It's the victim's, no mistake. Huh. I see. Score 1 for the boys! I didn't lose, I was just ascertaining the facts. So why am I so annoyed? Ugh. But a letter ordering your own death? Things aren't what they used to be, I guess. I'm not sure this is exactly commonplace, even now, Your Honor. It might be in America. Especially with the cost of those bills. So anyway, I guess I'll keep going while I'm ahead. The defendant did what was asked of him, and shot the old man in the forehead. Oops. How can you be so sure? Hey, you gotta learn to stop relying on people to do your thinking for you, pal. Learn to think for yourself. Get that noggin cranking. You fail to grasp the concept of questioning, Detective. First, we got this letter. It says, shoot in the forehead, loud and clear. I can see that, but I still wouldn't do it. Well, maybe you need to grow yourself a backbone, pal. You fail to grasp the concept of shooting people as bad, Detective. We also found the defendant's pistol at the scene. Why did he have a pistol at the scene? Traces of gunpowder residue shows that it had been fired recently. Well, Mr. Wright? As far as I can tell from looking at this photo, there seems to be no issue with the prosecution's claim. The photo. Maybe there's something in there I can use. So they're saying that the defendant shot the victim in the forehead. I think there's a hole in the prosecution's argument. Clearly, Mr. Enigmar shot something else. Looking at this photo, another possibility occurs to me. Yes? What does the letter tell us? That the defendant had a reason he couldn't refuse his teacher's wishes. Bingo, pal! That's why the defendant popped him one in the forehead. No? The defense disagrees. You see, the defendant had another choice he could make. Objection! What? And you can prove that with this photo? I can prove he had a choice, yes? The defendant might have fired like he was ordered. They didn't shoot the victim's forehead. Well, let's hear what you're thinking, Mr. Wright. If he didn't shoot the victim's forehead, what did the defendant shoot? Well, there's this little clown here. And it looks like you, Gumshoe. You're the clown here. Take a closer look. See? It's been shot in the forehead too. There's a hole in its forehead. Yes, and a hole in the prosecution's claim. And I suppose you have a reason as to why he'd shoot the clown doll? He didn't just shoot the doll. He shot the doll's forehead. His forehead. Let's read the orders once more, shall we? You will shoot one shot square in the forehead. Which is exactly what he did. He shot the clown doll square in the forehead. The defense has raised an intriguing possibility. That hole in the clown's forehead, it definitely looks like it was shot. Bailiff, send someone to investigate this matter. I admit, I'm impressed, but I expected nothing less. Still, this doesn't mean he didn't shoot the victim. Perhaps he did have to shoot a forehead as ordered. But the letter says nothing about whose forehead. This was the only way he had to follow his orders without taking a life. The bullet hole in the clown doll's forehead does demand an explanation. It might very well be a clue. Yet Prosecutor Gavin is right. It alone does not prove the defendant's innocence. You cannot say for sure the defendant didn't shoot the victim. I'm so sorry, Mr. Wright. How sad it is to see the mighty fall. How sad it is to see the novice's overconfidence. He doesn't realize just how big this little hole is going to get. Detective Gumshoe, please take a look at this newfound fact. Take this newfound fact into account as you continue your testimony. Alright, hold on. I need to actually